Well, I am seriously thrilled to be here. This is the It's All Good Circle. It is Monday, September the 15th, 2025. And we've had a run of these. I don't know how many we've had so far. Are we up to 10? Are we up to 10 yet? No, not yet 10.
Not quite.
Maybe six, seven. Well, numbers. Whatever the number is, it's a treat for me to be here each week and to share. Uh, it is particularly nice to see some new people here this evening. Always like that. And then those of you that are just consistently with us every Monday just tickles me that we've established what I wanted to establish all along, which was a community of people getting together, sharing their energies, their spirit, their love, and their desire to be part of this community. And I have to say that last week we had the least amount of people that we had on any of the Zoom calls, and yet it was so powerful. And it was about modalities that compel our bodies to do what they do naturally, which is heal themselves. And you all had such fabulous input and everything that I really liked that. And so was trying to come up with, like part of my week is like, what are we going to do next week in the It's All Good circle? And I had a experience in a meditation, if you will, that brought up some really fascinating, powerful energetics for me. And it was like, that's what the topic is. And so tonight's topic is what if? And we're going to get into that in just a moment. I want to share with you, I am outside of Wichita, Kansas, in Whitewater, Kansas, at the Countryside Scalar Energy Center. And Terry and Jane run this 12-unit EESystem center. The EESystem is the energetic that helped me heal myself after my back-to-back strokes in 2020. And we've become very, very involved, like partners in this EESystem center. And this one is 5 miles down a dirt road on an 80-acre farm with a pond. There was they told me I missed it, but there was a bald eagle in the pond the other night. My dog Bliss loves it out here. Stephanie and I love it. We hung out till 1:32 in the morning in the EESystem last night, just being in the energies and just allowing our bodies to heal and take a little break and everything like that. And I just, if you all have an EESystem center near you, you can go to EESystem.com and find one that's near you and check and see, there's community things that they do. They've all got these fabulous like recliners or zero gravity chairs, and you just go in there and you just take a break from whatever you need to take a break from. My dear friend Susie here on the Zoom call has a EE cube, as Stephanie and I do at home. And we've got Phil Roberts up here, who's got a system in Maiden Rock, Wisconsin. Closest major city is Minneapolis. And it's just fabulous. We're so fortunate to be able to experience these energies. And I had not been in an EESystem since March. That was our last event. And so it's just been really nice. I feel like 4 days here is not nearly enough time. But for those of you that got on the call early, you're like, wow, he's super energized tonight. Like he's always energized, but tonight that guy is like off the charts, and I'm blaming Terry and Jane and the EESystem. I'm not taking any responsibility for it myself. So it is always with an undercurrent of love and to be in service that I show up with for these Zoom calls. Phil and Destiny are my, I don't know how they are on your screen, but on my screen, they're the bookends right on either side of me. And I'm like, how appropriate is that? They just keep me balanced and in check and everything. And then all of you with all your energies. And so tonight is it's a kind of big subject, really, kind of heady, if you will. And as I say, this came about in a powerful experience in a dream meditation state I was in the other night. And I love the topic. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. And my presentation for you tonight is maybe 10 minutes long. But I think that it's going to bring up some good conversation and everything for all of us to just as a community share about and think about and see where we go. So let me just hydrate for a moment. Tonight, we step into the power of imagination and possibility. We step into the realm of what if, two simple words that have the potential to open doors, dissolve limits, and awaken us to the truth of who we are. What if the very life you are living right now is not happening to you, but rather happening through you? What if every thought, every feeling, every circumstance is a reflection of your inner world being projected outward? Tonight, let us walk together through these questions, not as riddles to solve, but as invitations to expand. I've broken down this presentation into 4 what ifs. The first what if everything you are experiencing is coming from within you? Think about that. Imagine the joy you feel, the love you give, the fear, the anger, the confusion. It all begins inside you. The world outside is simply a mirror. If this is true, then your power is immeasurable. You hold the key to shaping every moment by shifting what is within. So let me ask you, if this is true, how would you choose to live differently? The second what if the entire universe is connected, beginning and ending with you? Science calls it the quantum field. Spiritual traditions call it oneness. Indigenous wisdom calls it the web of life. No matter the language, it points to the same truth. You are not separate. You are part of the great cosmic whole. A butterfly flaps its wings in one part of the world and energy ripples across the globe. Your thoughts, your actions, your love, your very presence sends out waves that touch everything and everyone. You matter in ways you may never fully see. You are both the drop and the ocean. So what if you began to live as though everything you do, every choice you make is part of the great unfolding of the universe itself? The third what if.
Could you repeat number 2? I couldn't write that fast.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I'll send this out to anyone that wants it. The second what if was, what if the entire universe is connected, beginning and ending with you? And again, I'll send me a message and I'll send out this actual presentation to you. The third what if you get to decide how it all works, doesn't work, and everything in between? We often walk through life thinking there's a rule book, a set of conditions we didn't write, but we must follow. But what if that's an illusion? What if life is actually a canvas waiting for your brushstrokes, your colors, your imagination? You are the author, the director, the artist. You decide how much meaning to give to pain, how much joy to allow in, how deeply to love, and how boldly to dream. So I ask you, what rules have you outgrown? And what new ones are you ready to write for yourself? And now the fourth what if. What if it has been you all along? This is appropriate because I'm in Kansas. Let's take a moment to remember the story of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. She traveled far, she faced challenges, she sought wisdom. That was weird, sorry. I had a phone call come in. I thought I had silenced everything. She sought wisdom and she believed others held the answers. But at the end of her journey, she was told, "You've always had the power, my dear. You've had it all along. You just had to learn it for yourself." That story is your story. How many times have you looked outside yourself for validation, for rescue, for permission, only to discover later that the answers were within you all along? You have always had the power. It has always been you. So, what if you stopped searching outside and turned fully inward to claim the truth of who you are? My friends, all of these what ifs point us toward the same revelation. You are the creator. You are the connector. You are the one holding the keys. Even if one of these what ifs is true, then everything changes. Fear turns into curiosity. Victimhood dissolves into empowerment. Confusion becomes clarity. The invitation tonight is not just to ask what if. The invitation is to live it, to breathe it, to embody it. So here's the real question. Knowing all of this, how will you choose to live? Will you keep repeating the old patterns of limitation? Or will you live as though you are infinitely powerful, infinitely creative, infinitely connected? Each choice is a frequency. Each what if is an open door. Let's practice. I invite you silently within your heart to speak your own what if. Would it be, what if I choose joy no matter what? Could it be, what if I release fear and step fully into love? Might it be, what if I remember my power in every moment? Take a moment, find your what if, claim it, speak it, let it ripple out into the universe. The beauty of life is not in having all the answers. The beauty of life is in living the questions. May you carry these what ifs with you into every breath, every relationship, every dream. And may you remember you've always had the power. You've had it all along. The what ifs are not just possibilities. They are truths waiting to be lived. And it has always, always been you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. This is what I've been working on all week, and really just my thoughts always swirling with this and the what ifs and what that could mean. And so I'd like Phil, Destiny, you guys, my bookends. Do one of you want to, or both of you at different times, chime in, and then we'll open up the forum for everyone else. We didn't practice any of this. You didn't get the memo before I put it out there. So
you come in.
We didn't need it.
You go like that. What are you gonna do?
hold on. All right, go ahead, Bill.
Okay, yeah. So, very empowering. I was at a seminar over the weekend, actually a seminar on what's called whisperology, which I'm really not going to get into because it's much deeper than I can begin to share in a few moments. But it's really interesting that you've presented these questions tonight, because that was so much of what was being discussed and answers given and over the weekend, and it was very empowering. Now, one of the things that I look at is, for some people, this is almost terrorizing, to actually have to take control of and be responsible for what they're doing. I find it extremely interesting because as you talked about that, I was thinking to myself how tremendous it will be, or will be, and can be, to do so much of what I sort of love to do anyhow, which is share with people and open things up. I would love to have everybody just come here for free and just hang out and be a part of what we're doing. Yeah, it's very enlightening, and my inner, my chest, my stomach, my breath, everything expands as I think about the possibility of creating what I feel inside. And yeah, I mean, the only thing really holding us back is the thought of holding us back at all. And so, yeah, that's really an expansive conversation, and so thank you.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. Destiny.
So I love this topic too. What if is one of my favorite games to play. I think can be a really good um, uh, imagination tool. So you ask yourself, what if there's this big thing that you want? What if that's actually possible for you? What if I'm experiencing that right now? And you go into your imagination and you feel all of the feelings that it would mean to have that big dream or whatever, even that small thing. What if that was a possibility for me? And then you go into it and you imagine the sounds and the sights and the smells and the tastes and telling your best friends about it and sharing it with your loved ones, and suddenly all of the things that seemed out of reach, you can actually see the real possibility in them. So it's a a really fun manifestational tool, I think. And one of the what ifs that I've been playing with and thinking about is, what if all of the desires that we have are actually part of our purpose? Um, they're like guides to our inner purpose. And a big part of the journey of life is learning what those desires actually are, because you can feel that desire and explore that desire in a myriad of different ways, and perhaps not get to the fulfillment of that desire because you misunderstood it. So I've been playing around with the idea that part of the journey of life is to understand what is the truest and deepest meaning of that desire that you have in life to experience or to create or whatever it is, and experiencing that desire is not something that's painful and something that you have to yearn for in a bad way, but something that is a joyful, playful experiment in life.
Beautiful. Nicely shared. Thank you. Let's just open it up. You don't need to raise your hand. Just unmute yourself. If you start talking at the same time as someone else, talk louder than them and they'll stop, or or whatever it is, and acquiesce to them, whatever it is, and we'll give everyone a chance. So who wants to jump in now? Gail.
So, what if I give up my fear? What's going to replace it? What if I've been afraid to dream because I've what ifed for years and apparently am then what ifing in the negative? So it's this push me, pull you thing. And so, I mean, I understand how it works, and I'm still figuring it out. And there is a part of me that's afraid of being unlimited, because there are so many choices. What if I make a mistake? What if I start down that path and I get way far down and get way invested, and then I realize, oh yeah, no. And so I'm wrestling with that, because I did that to $500,000 of what if expense. And I'm trying to figure out how to give myself permission to have the universe come in and just go, okay, so you spent $500,000, fine, we're going to write it off. We're going to give you the money, whatever. And allow myself to dream that and have that come in. And I'm scared to let myself hope again.
I'd love to just point something out. $500,000 later, it's gone, whatever, and look at you. You're here. You are a beautiful source of light and inspiration. And I say that because I know you, and I've gotten to know you very well in the last year. And what if that was just a great lesson for you to build on instead of a terrible thing for you to dwell on? I mean, the what ifs, and I never thought about it like the what ifs blocking us. Like, oh, what if I F up? And, this isn't that, or whatever. It takes me back to, I do a lot of talk therapy with people, and I've only had a handful of people come to me and say that they wanted to kill themselves. And I said, okay, it's an option. Let's just look at it for what it is. You killing yourself is definitely an option. But since it's kind of like the final option, what haven't you done? Like this would be the time then, like you're about ready to kill yourself, or so you're saying. So this would now be the time to say, what the F? I'm just going to try this thing because what? I don't have anything to lose. I was planning on killing myself anyway. And, fortunately, nobody off themselves based on that talk with me. But it pointed out a thing like, and then I look at you, Gail, and I'm like, I didn't know this story about $500,000, and I don't even want to know all the details because it's a past thing. But it's like, and here you are. Here you are still here of value to the people that you come into contact with. And I had back-to-back strokes and it's here I am. Still here. It ain't over, and we've got I had this, I was shown very vividly in this experience the other night that the what ifs as I spoke about them tonight, that for me, and then because here we are wanting to share it with you, that those are that is reality. I was shown that by my guides. I call them the others, and it was very clear to me, and that's what they wanted me to know in no uncertain terms. And that it is you, Gabe. It is me in my experience. It's Susie, it's Destiny, it's Phil, it's each of us. And it's so exciting. And then I get like the fear of like, oh shit, what if I really am that powerful? And it's like, guess what? You're never going to know until you put yourself fully out there, and everything is connected. So everything, whatever came out of that loss of the financial aspect, whatever comes out of the loss of love in our lives, the loss of fill in the blank, is giving us what we need. It's all completely connected to why we're experiencing this, and all of us here, why we're experiencing each other. And that just, you already all know me well enough to know that that is incredibly exciting to me. Gail, the fact that you show up just about every single week, and in our last series of Zoom calls for 7 months earlier this year, every single week you were there, processing, holding space, giving energy to others that they needed from you. You're amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to stop talking now. Love you. And who wants to chime in next?
I'll chime in. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sharon.
How are you? Good to see you. What a great invitation, the what if. And as you were speaking, it reminded me of a really short article. I want to read it to you if you don't mind, that
Please.
I read in 2019. I've shared mostly with you guys that I went through an interesting anomaly with a brain injury. And I felt every word of what I wrote here. And I don't feel that now. But Dr. Dream, you're reminding me to remember, what if I'm just a thought away from coming home, to what I wrote here, which is so similar to much of what you just said. So I'll just read this. I wrote it for Brain Injury Awareness Month. My greatest gift came when I lost my mind. It was an invitation home. The kaleidoscope forever turns into endless forms more beautiful. When my left and right brain stopped talking to each other, I became aware that we are the song and the dance, the candle and the flame. Yes, that's right. We are the rainbow and the rain, the beauty and the pain. We all intertwine upon the dance of life as the dance evolves endlessly into the mysteries of forever, becoming fully aware that we are all pieces of this tapestry, losing the boundaries of time and the borders of space. The droplet becomes the ocean, and it changes everything for all eternity. As we awaken to the light in our darkness, we can step into a deeper truth, the truth of our forever present umbilical cord, connecting us to the divine and to each other. We are all sparks of God. This life force resides within every cell and fiber of our being. There is nowhere that it is not present. A lifetime of intellectual understanding can never touch the direct experience of a palpable bliss, the Creator's kiss. A new life emerges, one that is reconstructed, resurrected, and filled with cornucopious displays of cascading radiant colors, twisting the mandala of who I think I am into the truth of who I really am. I can never put back the shattered pieces of brokenness. I will never be exactly the same person as I was before. And yes, some of my abilities are different now. But I am forever grateful for the direct experience of no thought zones, an evaporation into all that is. No words can describe the greatest gift we can all sometimes take for granted. Our gift of this one precious life, a gift to say yes to the invitation home. You are here now, living, breathing, and being life. Grab it by the tail and make it your best life ever. Every breath truly is a living gift. Forever grateful, forever growing, forever formless in the dance of life. What if I could just remember what that felt like? And by allowing me to read that to you, I just did.
Thank you, Sharon. I like that. That was nice. Susie, are you ready to jump in?
Sure. So I write about this every day, every couple of days. I'm always writing about this exact thing. And the desires that and the dreams of fulfillment right on the heels of all of that will come up all ego's reasons for why not, and the justifications and the negativity and the limiting constrictive ways that it twists our dreams into fear and hopelessness. And I'm just recognizing that for what it is anymore. That's like way familiar. And I can put it in a timeout and just focus on not allowing what circumstances or diagnosis, what it may look like in the moment, be the concrete picture of what my life is becoming or who I am, that those are just clouds that get in the way of really feeling abundant no matter what, feeling joy and love no matter what it looks like, because it's a way of strengthening my faith that I am one with all of it, and that for me, it's about surrendering in trust and allowing myself to just get out of the way. Just get out of that little voice that comes in and wants to just kind of take things down. And it may always come back, it may not, but I can recognize it for what it is. It's familiar. I don't have to put a whole lot of energy in it, but to feel it, own it, because it's there. You have to allow those feelings to have a voice. You don't invalidate that voice that comes up and makes you feel like shit. You say, okay, now sit over here for a minute while I focus on the truth of who I am and allow myself to reveal myself as the light and the architect of my life, and keep visualizing and desiring my dreams and feeling them and seeing them, no matter what it looks like right now, because right now it's inconsequential. It's like it's on a it's on a linear three-dimensional timeline that the limitations look seemingly like limitations, where the reality is that inside all of that is the fruit that is trying to grow up through that shit that we keep putting in the way for ourselves. And inside is the kernel of truth. And it's like you just keep letting it bubble up and just allowing it to just slough off like the skin of a snake. Just let it keep sloughing off, and just keep your eye on the prize and the light. And so that's what I practice daily when I can, in the morning mostly, when I'm still kind of half asleep in between waking and sleeping. That's a really good time. And so maybe things aren't, up until now, looking the way I see in my dream, but that doesn't matter. It's like I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it with my writing. I'm bringing what I have with what I've got. Halfway I'm meeting. It's like I'm not just sitting waiting for anything to be handed to me. I'm kind of, just bringing it all to, with what I have, to where I'm going and to what I'm becoming. It's just, on this linear time plane that it looks a certain way, but it's all an illusion. And so I'm going to make up a happy illusion, a happy picture. That's what I got.
I thank you, Susie. You are one of the only writers that I follow on a daily basis. I consider you to be prolific, not by the volumes that you write, but by the fact that you write just about every single day. And I get them on Facebook, and you're nice enough to also send them to me direct. They speak to me every time, and so I appreciate you and your writing and what you add. Whatever, I don't know about anyone else, but what you add to my daily life, it's pretty outstanding. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm sensing there's somebody else that wants to jump in right now. Who would that be?
Just me.
Sylvie, yes,
Yes,
please.
I was just getting thoughts as Susie was speaking. And as she talked about the limitation, what was straight ahead coming into my mind was limitations are hidden in the past experiences and created with my thoughts in the coming future. What means, and this is what I'm trying to do day by day by day, to just be in the moment, and knowing that we describe our world with our experience we had as we grown up with friends, parents, and social living. And we're in the time where we understand more and more how our brain works, and we have so much possibilities to get informations from outside and being inspired. I use this a lot really to get inspired. How can I stay more in the moment instead of being freaking out what can be in the future? If I think about the future and listen what is in the media, then sometimes it's overwhelming. And it's a future I really don't want to live in, with all this technical stuff and robots and blah, blah, blah. And so for me, it's necessary really to keep myself in the moment and create as a creator as I am, and create the most beautiful world I can create. And what I get often in meditations is that everything is already inside of me. All what I need. There's not a single piece missed. It's all here in this body, in this reality. And I need to go more in my heart as in my head. That's so necessary, because my head is telling me every time, come on, who you are. Huh? Really? But my heart knows exactly that everything is there, and that we can flip whatever it is, that we can flip the reality. Because we know about even the hermetic laws, what is inside of us, that we will see outside of us. And this is what we attract. So, and for me, it's necessary to just be in the moment, to create the most beautiful world, living in community, in heart space, respect, awareness, consciousness, filled with love. And everybody is good as he is. Yeah.
Thank you, Sylvie. As you say that, I have this overwhelming, or this very whelming feeling of I'm pretty darn beautiful inside to project all of you outside of me. And I'm just like, I'm all like, whoo, that's anyway, that's where that took me. And I thank you. Thank you very much. Deanna, is this your opportunity?
Yes, thank you. Nice timing. Good tuning in. I found a little written thing this morning that lines up with several shares. A few lines I'd like to share. A simple exercise. This is Joe Hudson that I'm enjoying listening to these days. He invites, as you're sitting here, close your eyes right now and listen to the voice inside your head. Listen to how you're speaking to yourself. We're pretty high vibe right now, so it's probably pretty sweet. But just listen for a moment and see if something comes up. And every time that voice in your head says something to you like, you should work harder, like you haven't done enough, anything that it says that you wouldn't say to another person, respond out loud. Ouch. Please don't treat me like that. Silly, right? But so effective. So you close your eyes, hang out, and listen to the voice. Every time it says something that you wouldn't say to somebody else, say, ouch. What's going to happen is that voice is going to get quieter and quieter. It's going to go into the background, and you're finally going to get some rest. And he says rest isn't the opposite of productivity, it's the foundation of it. So I invite you to a place of rest by permissioning yourself to say, ouch, that wasn't very nice. Don't talk to me like that. So that's the thought number one that was a response to some of what was shared. And I thought of in some of the shares about delight. Life isn't measured in the number of our breaths, but in the moments that take our breath away. And that has been delighting me. And another friend said, collect those. If you're going to be a collector, collect those moments that take your breath away. And he calls them magic moments. And he says, keep collecting until you're a magic moment millionaire. And that really captured my imagination. And then a little variation on that is that has helped me. Like for so long, it was like, where's my niche? What was I born for? Where do I fit? What's my offering? And then finally, the question that resonated was, what lights me up? And so then you start paying attention, if there's a day that you're not sure, and you get your breathing gets a little faster and you have that excitement and you go, oh, and you're sharing something, you're explaining something, and you go, oh, that's part of my purpose. So what was shared earlier about I think maybe it was Destiny that shared. And so a quick example, when someone was saying, think about some trauma in your childhood or something, and there somewhere in there is going to lie your part of your destiny, and it didn't match. I wasn't coming up with it until I went to what lights me up, and it's sharing muscle checking, muscle testing, and I went, okay, I'm going to work backwards. What's the childhood or lifetime trauma that brought me freedom from? And it was decision-making trauma. Like, oh my goodness, I have to decide. And sometimes it's not just left or right. There's this whole gamut in between. Sometimes the answer isn't left or right. And then I go, oh, then what? So it takes me to curiosity. And there were several other times in there. Everything from how much do I want plants? That was decision-making trauma for me. Like I kept killing them until I muscle checked and found out how much it wanted. It's like, oh, that was easy. So just what lights me up, sharing how to do that so other people that may have experienced decision-making trauma can find freedom and excitement and, oh, that was nice. Thank you. So one of my magic moments that I share. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Vienna. I just before someone else jumps in, I have this superpower. I'm going to call it a superpower. And that is to find gratitude in the moments. And when you said it's not about, it's about the moments that take your breath away. And I immediately thought about my wife, Stephanie, and how I mean, we spend all of our time together, absolutely, just about every single moment together. That's the life we've created. And I have this amazing experience many times during the day of just looking at her in awe and wonderment and amazement of who she is and how she is and her perspective and how she holds her energy. And it's a beautiful thing. It's so, it's part of what just keeps me incredibly happy to be here. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I said, in the very core of who I am content. And even Stephanie said, "Oh, I'm not sure that's a good thing, And I said, "No, it is the best thing because I'm not longing for anything to be different. I'm not desiring anything to be different. I have goals and I have dreams and I put my energy in those directions, but they're not here yet. And I'm still incredibly content. And it's a nice place to be. It's not, I got news today about, something that's going to cost me a lot. And it was presented to me. This gentleman said, the first part of this phone call you're going to like, and the last part of this phone call you're not going to like at all. And I wanted to say, shut the F up, just don't tell me how I'm going to feel in each moment. Just tell me whatever you have to tell me. And he told me, and he was shocked by and it wasn't, if anyone else would look at it and say you had every reason to not be happy about that. And I was like, whatever, it's all that part of the matrix. It's all make believe. Oh, it's a weird thing. And it's this much money. And I'm like, oh, okay. Money comes, money goes. It just is what it is. That's, I'm alive. Look at Stephanie, look at Bliss, and it's like none of that has any bearing, Oh, so I'll open up to the universe and say, hey, this thing happened. Could you fill up this coffer over here to take care of it? I'm not even going to think about it. You just take care of that for me. Anyway, it just all of this discussion tonight has brought up, just the choice, the what ifs are the possibilities, and we get to decide. We had this discussion, recently. I did an article in the newsletter last week. What's real? Is that a snake or a stick? That old thing. And it's like, well, whatever is real is what you're going to make of it, whether it is a snake or a stick. And so I don't know, I'm gone off on a tangent, but it was a tangent steeped in love and gratitude and the core of my contentment. Okay, so this then opens up the possibility for anybody, Karen or Linda or Monica, Terry or Sandy, anyone that hasn't spoken yet. Y'all know I have plenty to say, so I'll fill in if you don't have anything. Okay,
If I
this
can,
is
go ahead, Susie.
No, go ahead, Phil.
Well, I was just going to interject for a moment and introduce you to my accountant. Here. This is my accountant.
I love your accountant.
she's been my accountant for 51 years now. And you know, when we talk about empowerment and all of that, I was really fortunate to have somebody you know, stay with me for 51 years and pick up the pieces. Because yeah, it's not always, when we're empowered, it's not always a perfect ride. Sometimes you're right, sometimes we turn left and we probably should have gone right. But that's okay, that's part of the journey. And that is, you know, it's interesting that kids go to school and they're taught right and wrong, and they're taught things that, you know, they're taught, oh, that's a silly question. Okay. And kids quit asking questions because they think it's going to be a silly, there's never a silly question, because if you don't know the answer, the only way to find out is to ask. And so when you go down the path of asking questions and not being afraid to be sort of like, you know, I mean, sometimes, and I've had a very good friend that I would ask him questions, he'd go look it up. And the reason he was doing that was he had to go look it up. And he wasn't going to save me the time of looking it up by telling me. So, and at first I was like angry at him. I was like, what do you mean you won't tell me? And sometimes those lessons have to be had. And, you know, that's really what good friends are about. So yeah, I just wanted to share my accountant with you, because she sits off to the side and she's not a camera person, and yeah, so there is a Mary, and so as there is a Stephanie.
Yes. I have hugged Mary in person. I have had the honor of sharing smiles and joy and moments, not nearly enough, but enough to be able to shout when he brought you into the screen, I love your accountant. And so
Yeah.
thank you, Phil.
Well,
or maybe I should be thanking you, Mary, for, if you're the accountant, it means you're the rock, the steady, the solid tree trunk in the relationship. So
we'll
I
see.
thank you both for what you
And it's
co-create.
funny because I've always been one, and this is, you know, I mean, this is what kind of what manifestation is all about. I don't care about money. I just want to know when I don't have any. And then I'm going to go find more of it. So, you know, I mean, it's an interesting deal, is if you're just always worried about money, well, then you're never going to find new money, because you're always worried about the old stuff. And so, you know, and I'm not saying that people should go out and just spend and no. But, you know, I've always, and both of us have always had this thing that, you know, gee, if we need some more money, let's just go get it. And amazingly, so many times in our lives, it just shows up. It's like, where'd that come from? Well, we asked the universe, it provided. It's all good. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Good reminders, Phil, and thanks for bringing Mary to the show with you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Dr. Dream, I am listening to your show almost all the time. Can you hear me?
Yes. No, I wasn't. It's coming from you. I was looking to see where that was coming from. I thought it was coming from somewhere else. Yes, Mary.
Usually I'm in the EE room watching you or listening to you on the phone, but I'm always near.
I appreciate that, and I love the relationship that the two of you have. And again, I'm blessed to know both of you. And I know that all the goodness and everything that I get from what seems like just Phil, that it's not just Phil, that you're involved in it also. And so thank you. Thank you very much. A deep love, gratitude, and appreciation. Wow, it's just a love fest tonight. I love these Monday gatherings. Susie, were you gonna jump in?
I was. I just wanted to read my latest writing, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
It's called Forgetfulness. We wake up and we forget again. We look for reminders of the truth about ourselves as light or not, and repeat lessons we thought we had learned. No judgment or criticism, just curious, noticing it's what we seem to do. Unconsciousness can be pervasive in any given moment about this or that. We generate habits, and awareness illumines them back into radiant choice. We are the active force in reshaping the field of our awareness moment by moment. Mother Earth roots us in our density and simultaneously lifts us within the crowned grace of light. We become vessels of greater light as we alchemize what is outworn. We balance in our hearts and minds as we journey through density and light, realizing the intricacies and dance they both play. Celebrate these gifts of insight that are granted to us through the awareness, and allow and surrender to the waxing and waning pull on our beingness. Trust in the light that is the breathing pulse of life itself. Cast out anything less than truth, for the lie of our forgetting has shadowed us since the moment of our individuation. The remembering is in the river of our blood, the marrow of our bones, the rhythm of our breath, the song of ourselves infused with every spark of life itself. There is only remembering, older than time, stronger than illusion. Breathe into the remembrance that restores all wholeness.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I read that earlier today, but I have to tell you, I think I want you to send me each day. You and I are close friends. I think I want you to send me each day a sound clip of you reading your writing. It hits home when I read it and hear it in my voice. It hits heart when I hear you reading it. And so I'm, again, tremendously grateful for your perspective and your ability to put it out there for the rest of us, and to you just put it out there. I guess we, or I'll just speak for myself, I allow it to have the impact, and thank you for that.
Welcome.
Chills and tingles over here in very warm Kansas. Anyone else want to chime in and share, or just say something? Doesn't have to be about the topic. It can be about this circle. It can be about things you'd like us to address in this circle, topics you'd like us to address. Maybe you want to be a speaker one week, a wisdom presenter one week. I mean, we have a very open platform here. Sylvie, yes.
Yes, I would like to add something. Often I've been guided in my meditations to remember this innocent inner child that we have deep inside of us. It has no label. It has no just judgment. It's just this excited, innocent inner child, what is looking towards to experience the great, great unknown. And if I see the future as a great unknown, because my thoughts can create a lot of future in any direction I want to go. But if I see it as the inner child, what is just innocent and curious, what is just excited to explore the great, great unknown, then I, in the really joyful space where I want to be, where I want to play, where I want to explore and go and run and laughter and just be. And that's one of the tools what I really like to use when I feel miserable, when I start to drive with my thoughts in a direction I don't want to be. To remember this inner child, what is inside of me. And this inner child exists. It's not dead. It's alive. And it wants to explore and it wants to really figure out how we can do that. Come on, let's do it. And really look at the future as the great, great unknown. We don't know what will be. There's a lot of concepts outside, but we don't know. And we hope the love wins. I hope it. Yeah.
Tears brought tears to my eyes, my inner child, and that sense of awe and wonderment and that innocence that you described. Yeah. Thank you.
I would share something.
Yes, Phil.
Earlier I said that I went to this thing on whisperology and I really didn't want to say anything about it, but something came up and I will say this. Whisperology is a practice in the absence of conflict. That's how it was designed. That's how the language is. That's how, it's not to say that there's never conflict, but the whole design of the practice is the absence of conflict. And so it's a really interesting, deeply thought out way of life in its own respect. Yes, people do it as a modality to help people and help themselves, but it's also a profound way of life. And yeah, I just wanted to share that because it came to me as a small tidbit of what it was that we were delving into. And I went to this seminar based on asking a whisperologist to explain to me what it was all about. And she said, well, there's a seminar. You can go listen to the guy that created it. And I went, we're in. So, yeah. But that's that.
Phil, do you think that your person, the whisperologist that you know, would want to be a wisdom presenter on the It's All Good Circle?
I will find out.
Okay, put it out there and see. That's
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you've kind of got us all. I mean, my initial thoughts are to make little jokes about whisperology because it sounds so funny.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. But now I'm like, you know what? It would be really cool to have someone that uses this as a modality to come and share with us. And
yes.
What you just said sounded really good. And so I'm glad I held back my childlike humor.
Well, so to give you just a flavor of the weekend is, so we get to this retreat. I was barefoot for 3 days. I was swimming in a very cold lake. Because one of the leaders of the seminar, she is she likes to go into the cold. Let's just put it that way. And the lake was about, oh, I'm going to say maximum maybe 60 degrees. And it isn't cold, but you're in there for 10 minutes. On Sunday morning, I went in the water and I was in the water for about 10 minutes. My teeth started to chatter to where I could no longer have a conversation. I had to get out. I couldn't talk anymore. So, but no, it was so relaxed. And you know, the people that were there were fabulous, and it was just that kind of atmosphere, and I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I got a little chill hearing about the lake.
Yeah.
So we have another circle next Monday. Now you all could let me simmer on and marinate on a topic between now and then, or you could throw out some ideas of something that you feel like would be good to put out there, and all of us discuss. That's something that lends itself to an open forum like this, a community discussion. Anyone have anything that they're feeling? Deanna?
Victoria, that you introduced me to, sends out a modality Thursday email each week, and I read this last one, and it was a very simple modality, but I want to encourage that she might be a great presenter. I know she'd be a great presenter. She might be willing to present. And the topic, just to whet the appetite, was fusing symbol of illness into your body-mind system. And she speaks about family constellations, and that Bert Hellinger that said that 80% of what holds us back is rooted in our ancestral lineage. So I'd be curious about what she might have to share about the ancestral part in healing and well-being and all that.
Interesting. Several of us on this Zoom right now have had experiences with Victoria. She's also been a past guest on the It's All Good show, the mother podcast, the umbrella podcast that I do. And I know that a couple of us have been waiting for her to get back from her vacation to Yellowstone. She was going to be gone 3 weeks, and so I think she's getting back soon, but I'll reach out to her and see if she would like to be a presenter, a wisdom presenter on the It's All Good circle. She's certainly of great value, and what she has to offer has changed my life. Let's just put it that. So, good suggestion. Anyone else for anything?
Dr.
So-
Dr. I sent you in Facebook a message connecting you with a man called Jeff Granville. And I don't know if you got that, but it was mutual to you and himself. And he owns a nonprofit called Mindful Presence. And just briefly on his story, his son was like 5 years old and he was in this emergent situation. And Jeff literally went into the quantum and helped his son while he was having surgeries without anesthetic go into the quantum so that he could do that. And it was such a profound thing that the nurses and doctors witnessed. They brought him in to begin to work with the practitioners to start to teach a method called STIR. So he's been on several podcasts. He has a podcast. He's a great friend of mine. And I promise you, when you meet him, you will feel like a brother from another mother. He is the most amazing, heartfelt, living the quantum life like no other. That he's got like 8 children. Really amazing being. So if you might have missed that, I can resend it to you.
No,
But
I got it, and I know where it is, and I just saw it in the last day.
Great.
And I will follow up with him and see if we can get him on this one or the It's All Good show, one or the other. But this one would be a nice one to have.
Kate Lumley as well. So it's kind of that circle of just
Fabulous.
a fabulous being. So I'd love to see him, bring anything. I think I had mentioned mirror neurons are needed for healing. And, speaking of the world being the mirror, that we need those mirrors coming back to us in support so that we can see that support within the other that allows us to see that support within ourselves, if that makes sense. So if you don't have that when you're going through a healing journey, which I didn't, his whole thing is the set and setting of the beginning of an experience will dictate the outcome. So one of the things that I had talked with him about was actually becoming a patient advocate, where imagine if a patient comes in and gets a diagnosis, you have a team of people that quickly grab that patient and the immediate family members and they start to teach them stress techniques. And they don't have to do anything other than get into a heartfelt place where they can be there for the patient. So he also works a lot about one of his life's mottos, and mine too, is to end adult drama. We have to heal our childhood trauma. So I just think he'd be fabulous.
Excellent. I will reach out to him
Wonderful.
this week, and we'll see what his availability is.
Wonderful.
This is not Dr. Dream's community for Dr. Dream. This is, something that I put together with Phil and with Destiny, and we hold space for the community to come together, always looking to serve the highest and best for the community. And so your input is always incredibly valuable and important, and the circle will continue to be what it is, holding space for everyone based on getting input about the direction where we go, and for all of us to share like we have tonight and last week and everything like that. It's really nice that we get to do this. Now we do have 8 minutes. There's nothing in our group rules that says we can't end early. But there is an open opportunity here for anybody that would like it. You're drawn to share something that serves the highest and best of everyone here. Deanna?
I'd like to pick up with the challenge that I think came a couple of weeks ago of just step out, and one of the things that I have felt like I want to start doing is posting just little short journeys. And I feel like it's spirit led, and I feel like there's grace to do that for 3 or 4 minutes if that serves. It's just like a
Absolutely.
guided meditation.
Sure, go ahead. We've got the time.
All right. So I invite you to close your eyes, and figuratively or really, I did kick off my shoes. I have a concrete floor under me, so I'm grounding. And do it visually if it's not available practically, physically. Take some good breaths, present. Fill your lungs with this amazing atmosphere we've all co-created in this Zoom room. Sigh, reminding our nervous system that we are safe. And now let's step outside. I invite you to an alpine meadow. We're on a path. And then we're walking along, admiring the wildflowers. It's a beautiful day. And just over the crest of the hill is this beautiful lake. It's unlike anything I've seen before. And I love looking at water shimmering on light. And this is a lake of liquid light. So it's not just shimmering, it is shining. So let's all step down this little path to the lake's edge, in this case, liquid light. There's quite a nice beach. There's room for all of us along the beach. And we step toward the water. You're so water minded. I am. And oh, it just feels so lovely. It's not just between my toes, it's between my cells. So we step in, step deeper, we're out, push off the bottom. Am I floating or am I flying? Or am I swimming or am I dreaming? And those who would like can do a little dolphin movement and go under the surface. And you find that you can breathe this, what looked like it might be water. We can breathe it in, and it's light, and it goes into, again, every cell, all the interstitial places. And for some of us, there might be a little color stream behind us, like what you'd think of bubbles in water, the color. And it may even be black. And I want to encourage, if whatever you see, do not be disturbed. You are not polluting the lake. It's cleansing. And what leaves us, it's perfectly able to transmute into light. So just do whatever movement feels delightful to your inner child. No limitations. You can do flips. You can do the flying fish thing. You can go up above the surface and splash back in, however you splash in light. Just moving and moving around. And now, feeling refreshed. Let's make our way back toward the shore. Good news, you can come back and visit here anytime you want now that you know where it exists in your imagination, in your magic moments. Let's come back to the shore. I see us in a line together, holding hands. We're going to have an It's All Good circle hug. In fact, I want to do an It's All Good circle cinnamon roll since it's a circle. And we'll start with Dr. Dream and Stephanie at one end, and we're going to have you roll into, and we are all circling around. It's a line, right? And so we're circling around till we're a cinnamon roll. And you guys get to be the raisins. And big hug. Oh, thank you so much for giving and loving and supporting and dreaming. Thank you. And now we unroll and step, put our shoes back on and wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back and hike up the trail and over the hill and back down to the place we met and started this journey. Blink your eyes and come back and smile. That's what I have to share.
Thank you, Vienna. That was a beautiful experience there. Love the cinnamon roll. And that, my friend, takes us to the top of the hour. Thank you so much for being here, showing up, and just sharing and sharing and sharing some more. Spend some time this week asking yourself some of the what if questions. And if you'd like to have me send the presentation to you, let me know. And I love you all so very much, and I carry that with me deep in my heart. And Mondays are very special, and I look forward to us all being together next Monday. Thank you for being here. So much love.